carefully take notes and join in.
So it's been a great session. Great having everyone. I might just have to start it again. I just put on the recording. All the while we were speaking, there was nothing showing. So I'm going to start that video again. So just bear with me. We're having a great time already. So we are actually on the 10th chapter of the book.
The ability to answer yes to the significant question,
So
does
I
my
don't
dream
know.
benefit others, has come in stages for me.
So we're starting right away. Thank you.
10 is the significance question. Does my dream benefit others? There's a book I would encourage you to read if you haven't read it. It's called Halftime by Bob Buford. Bob's a wonderful friend of mine, and basically what he says in essence is that about halfway in our life, we begin to ask ourselves important questions.
Did you get a title of the book? Let me take it back a bit.
You to read if you haven't read it. It's called Halftime by Bob Buford. Bob's a wonderful friend of mine, and basically what he says in essence is that about halfway in our life, we begin to ask ourselves important questions. They're going to help determine how we finish our life. And I'm going now to the paragraph I have in your notes, the ability to answer yes to the significant question, does my dream benefit others, has come in stages for me. This may be the same for you. Take a look at how it has unfolded in my life, represented by these three statements. Statement number one, I want to do something significant for myself. I know that seems selfish, but it's not. It starts with, I want to do something significant for myself. I want to have a dream that's significant for me. It's like when you're on the commercial airline and you get ready to take off and they're doing you the instructions. And what they say, if you have to get the oxygen mask, what do? Take care of yourself before you take care of your children. Well, what are you doing? You said, well, I'm more important than my kids. No, they know this. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your kids. So in this whole area of significance, I want to do something significant for myself. Here's what I'm telling you. That's where it starts. Now, if it stays there, you're immature. But it starts there. Secondly, I want to do something significant for others. Last year, I wrote a book that had a profound impact upon my life. I've given it out to a lot of people. Some of them just absolutely thank me for it, and some of them think it's not worth reading. You know, reading's a personal choice, but there's a book about Mother Teresa that entitled, and I have it in your notes, Come Be My Light. It's the private writings of the Saint of Calcutta. And when Mother Teresa, don't read them yet. Look up here. Look up here. You're starting to read those. What she said. Cut that out. You cut that out. Mother Teresa never thought her writings would be public. In fact, as she would write, she would ask them to destroy the letters. But they didn't destroy the letters. And so these weren't written for you to read and say how amazing she was. These were really written for a time in her life that she was going through to people that were overseers in the church. And this is, when I talk about something significant for others, here's what I want you to read with me. I don't know what the success will be. What happened, our overseer said, if you start this mission, how will you know if it's successful? But she said, if missionaries of charity have brought joy to one unhappy home, made one innocent child from the street keep pure for Jesus, one dying person die in peace with God, don't you think your grace, it would be worthwhile offering everyone for just that one, because that one would bring great joy to the heart of Jesus. She also said, a day without doing something for others is a day not worth living. Wow. I want to do something significant for myself. I want to do something significant for others. And thirdly, I want to do something significant with others. I have a wonderful friend, Florence Littauer, who kind of gives the proper sequence of how a dream matures and how you get fulfilled. And I give this to you. She says, first of all, you have to dare to dream. You've got to have courage to dare to even dream and begin.
Sorry, I probably might go back by a minute. I just want to see.
A day without doing something for others is a day not worth living. Wow. I want to do something significant for myself. I want to do something significant for others. And thirdly, I want to do something significant with others. I have a wonderful friend, Florence Littauer, who kind of gives the proper sequence of how a dream matures and how you get fulfilled. And I give this to you. She says, first of all, you have to dare to dream. You've got to have courage to dare to even dream and to begin to share that dream with others. Secondly, you have to prepare the dream. You know, the setup determines the success. Then you have to wear the dream. You got to put it on. It's not something that you put on and put off. It's something that you are daily. You know what? The dream becomes who you are, not what you want. And fourthly, you've got to repair the dream. Got to keep fixing it. Gets holes, doesn't it? Vision leaks. You know what? The dream becomes who you are, not what you want. And fourthly, you've got to repair the dream. Got to keep fixing it. Gets holes, doesn't it? Vision leaks. It really does. It leaks. Isn't that true? Dreams leak. Yeah, they do. Start off big and reality hits. Some of the air goes out, huh? And then you finally share the dream. Then you pass it on to others. Let me just say one more thing about fulfillment that's not in your notes, that in wrapping this up, and then I want to do one conclusion page with you, and then we're done. All my life is very simple. All I want to do is add value to others. In fact, when I die, if they just put on my tombstone, he added value to people, I'm very happy, because that's all I've ever wanted to do. And every day, because I've made that my goal, that's my dream, I've begun to see the reality of it. And of course, if you've stayed on that dream for a long period of time, that reality and the fulfillment becomes amazingly increased as you go. So when I was coming out here to teach you this lesson and do the training for you, and for the training for many that will watch it, I left Atlanta. And I was flying to Dallas to change and come here to Las Vegas. Okay. So when I got to the airport in Atlanta, in the kind of the waiting area before you get aboard the plane, I sat down and started to do a little reading, and a guy and his wife kind of across from me interrupted me and said, "You're John Maxwell, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah, I'm John." And Eric, her husband, said, I read everything you've got." I said, "You read everything I've got?" He said, "Yeah." He's a major leader in AFLAC, and he said, I read everything you've got. And in fact, he said, "Let me prove it." And he reached in his briefcase, and he had the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And he said, "Would you sign it for me?" And I said, "I'd be glad to sign it for you." And he said, "John," he said, "you have no idea what you've done for my career." So I'm on the plane, and people are boarding the plane now, and a lady sees me and stops and says, I'm doing your 360-degree leader DVD for my company right now. We're all going through it together." And she said, "I want to thank you." And I got off the plane in Dallas, and I had just enough time to get something to eat, so I was get something to eat, and a guy came over, and he works for an insurance company, and young guy named Brad, and he said, "Do you mind if I interrupt for a second?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, I just came from our national convention. There are 147 agencies, and we're number 3. And he said, "I used to be number 140. And again, he said, I want to tell you, thank you for your books." And in fact, he said, "Are you going to be here I said, "Well, I'm going to be here till I'm done." And he left me, and he went over to a bookstore and bought one of my books and came back, and I signed it for him. And I got on the plane to come out here. Now very simple. Here's what I want you to understand. Here's what I want you to see. If you live the dream, if the dream is not only something you want to happen to you, but the dream is something that happens within you. You got me? The dream is not just something you reach toward. The dream is something that lives within you every day. It's who you are. It's what you believe. It's what you will become. If that happens to you, you're going to enjoy all the process. You're going to enjoy the good days. You're going to enjoy the bad days. You're going to enjoy the days when you think, "I was born for this," and you're going to enjoy the days when you say, "I wasn't born for anything."
Awesome. Awesome. I'll just quickly have a recap before I go to the next one. What's mind-blowing, 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 really mind-blowing. I'll tell you. He says, "Does my dream benefit others?" That's the significance question in chapter 10. I want to do something significant for myself. So it has to start with you first before you extend to others. He said when it starts with you and ends with you, then you're not mature. So meaning that if it starts with you, it has to extend to others. So he says, if you don't take care of yourself, you cannot take care of others. So note, even in the plane, it's always, when I'm talking about the oxygen mask, it says you help yourself first before you help your children. So something significant for others. That's like, putting joy, putting smiles on the face of others. He spoke about a lady who gave a word. A day not living for others is a day not worth living. So our life must consist on how we can make ourselves better, how we can help others, and how we can get up with others. So I want to do significant things with others. Say, dare to dream, dare to share your dream, dare to pass it on to others. Wear the dream, repair the dream. He said the dream becomes who you are. Vision leaks, and that's where you need to repair. Sometimes it might not go the way you expect it, but you need to go back and fix it. And he spoke about if you live the dream. He said dream is not something that happened to you. The dream is what you live every day. It's a lifestyle. It's you. So I don't know if you have any word to say before I go to the next.
No, I'm just excited to hear the next. This is significant. I think I'd just rather hear the next part and give comments a little bit later. This is very, very important.
Oh. So we have the last this conclusion.
So here's the conclusion on putting your dream to the test. In 1969, I began to dream about making a difference in the lives of people. After 10 years of following that vision, I thought about whether I was succeeding. To my surprise, the first thing I discovered was that my dream to help others had helped me. Now looking back, I can see that has always been the case for me. Here's how. My dream has helped me to focus. Every time I was tempted to stray away from my purpose, my dream kept me headed in the right direction. My dream has helped me to stretch. Often I wanted to stay in my comfort zone, but my dream always propelled me out of it and challenged me to keep growing. My dream has helped me to sacrifice. When the price for success got high, my dream encouraged me to pay it, reminding me that there are no shortcuts to success. My dream has helped me to persevere. When I thought about my dream, quitting was not an option. No one ever arrived at his dream destination by stopping. Dreams don't come to us, we must go to them. My dream has helped me to attract winners. The size of my dream determined the size of the people who were attracted to it. Small dreams attract small people, big dreams attract big people. My dream has helped me to depend on God and others. My dream was too big for me. I needed God and others to help me. They did, and everyone won. And my prayer for you, as you put your dream to the test, is that you will pass it to it. Small dreams attract small people. Big dreams attract big people. My dream has helped me to depend on God and others. My dream was too big for me. I needed God and others to help me. They did, and everyone won. And my prayer for you, as you put your dream to the test, is that you will pass it, because I'm teacher, and I'm trying to set you up for victory. And may your dream come true.
Amen. Awesome. What did you get from this?
Okay, this was really significant for me this time. I started making notes right away. The ending part I didn't think would be as good as the beginning, but it was. Dare to dream. Let me see, I wrote focus. The dream helped him to focus, to stretch, to sacrifice, to persevere. These are some things that we quite often don't do. Focus being the foundation of what you need to do. I think he just taught me something that I have heard but not really gleaned in on, because your focus is your foundation. When you focus in, you really have that sharp point then you can dare to do the other things. You can dare to stretch. You can dare to sacrifice. Sacrificing also is important, but you have to sacrifice the right way. And he emphasized that in the example of you put the mask on first, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of others. People don't seem to get it. We've been taught to take care of our families first, and we do, but we have to be here with them in order to take care of them. So therefore, you must take care of yourself first, not in a selfish way. That's not selfish. That's generous. When you stay in good shape so you can constantly be here to do for others, that's a lifelong lesson. It took me a while to learn that. And to do for others, to persevere, I mean, that's just so much. This was a short session, but there was just as much information in this short session as we've had in all the others. I do hope everybody has been paying attention, taking notes. We'll go back and review these because it's so significant to having a good life. And to me, a good life is how you impact others. This man has had a great impact on me. These sessions have had a great impact on me. I appreciate them. I appreciate you for bringing them.
Yeah, I just wanted to do 10 minutes of this session because it beats more. It's about 45 minutes. We can finish it now. We just do about 10 minutes, 10 to 15. Then we'll move on.
Today, I'd like to talk to you on the subject, breakthroughs that build your dream. Recently, I wrote a book called Put Your Dream to the Test. It's really a book that kind of helps you and me look at the dream that we have and ask 10 questions that will help us to know whether we have high odds of achieving our dream or not. How many of you remember when you were in school, maybe before a big test day, your teacher or your prof would get the class together and say, now on Friday, I'm going to ask these questions on the test. And they literally would give us the questions they were going to ask on the test. And you know, we'd write them down and hopefully find good answers and study, so because we knew in a few days that's what we were going to be looking at. That's what we're going to be facing. And those profs and teachers did it for one very simple reason. They wanted us to pass the test. And when I wrote the book, Put Your Dream to the Test, and I designed 10 questions that you and I need to ask ourselves as we pursue our dream, the whole purpose of the book was to help people that have a dream pass that test. I was recently in Washington, D.C. with about 80 high-level executives, mainly CEOs. And I was spending a couple of days with them teaching them leadership, and I taught them a little bit out of the Put Your Dream to the Test book. And we did a little survey with them before the seminar began, and we asked how many of them had a dream, how many of them had achieved the dream, how many had given up on the dream. And it was a very interesting survey, and I was looking forward to the results because these are very high successful people. Every one of them had a dream, which that didn't surprise me at all. But 50%, just a hair under 50%, said that they had not yet achieved their dream. And 25% said they'd given up on it. And these are high-level successful people. And it just, again, helped me become more determined to help people discover their dream and then give them helps on how to get their dream, how to achieve their dream. The thesis of the book, Put Your Dream to the Test, is kind of simple. Basically, the thesis is the more reasons you have to achieve your dream, the higher the odds are that you will. The more reasons that you and I have to achieve a dream in our life, the higher the odds are that we will. Basically, what I mean by that is if a person only has one dream, one reason to achieve a dream, they only kind of have one kind of motivating force in their life. Maybe it's, maybe they when they were young, they just kind of glamorized it. But if you only have one reason to pursue your dream, because dreams are tough and difficult, pretty soon there'll be so much adversity that you'll give up that reason. But the more good reasons you have to achieve a dream, the less you want to let it go. And so when adversity comes, which it does to all dreams, if you have a lot of good solid reasons for wanting to achieve that goal and that dream, you'll just hold on to it a lot more. And so the 10 questions that are in the book, Put Your Dream to the Test, are the 10 reasons for you to have a dream. Now, as I was writing the book, and this lesson is kind of an addendum to the book. It's not the book at all. What I'm sharing with you today isn't in the book, but it's a partner of the book. Because as I looked at the book, Put Your Dream to the Test, and I looked at putting together a training kit for people such as you, I realized that there was a part that was missing in the book that I wanted to add that will help you kind of what I would call fill in the gaps in your dream journey, okay? And that's what these breakthroughs are. These breakthroughs, in fact, in your notes, I'll define it, are events that mold us and move us forward. There's a molding change DNA in a breakthrough. We're never the same when we've had a breakthrough internally, and we're never the same when we had a breakthrough externally, because they mold us and then they move us. They change us, and then we go forward closer to that dream. And so when I talk about the breakthroughs, I want you to think of the fact that it will change you inwardly and it will move you outwardly. Now, I think one more kind of intro piece here before I really go through the breakthroughs and just kind of knock those out. They're very simple. Is I think I would like to define a dream for you. And I don't have that in your notes, so you're going to have to write it down, but you've got plenty of paper. In fact, when I was preparing this lesson the other day, I thought, I probably should have included them, but I'll go slow, and I want you to kind of have a sense of what I define as a dream. I think a dream is an inspiring picture of the future. Let's just start there. It's an inspiring picture of the future that energizes your mind, will, and emotions. I think a dream is an inspiring picture of the future that energizes your mind, will, and emotions, empowering you. Once you're energized, your mind, your will, and emotions are energized, it empowers you to do everything you can to achieve it. A dream is an inspiring picture of the future that energizes your mind, will, and emotions, empowering you to do everything you can to achieve it. Now, that's why I like that definition of a dream, by the way, is that a lot of dreams are fantasies, a lot of dreams are just emotional. But if you'll look there, I really center in on the fact that if you have an inspiring picture of the future, it will not only energize your emotions, it'll energize your will, and it'll energize your mind. It'll engage how you think, it'll engage your tenacity, and it'll engage how you feel. And when those things happen, that becomes empowering. The dream becomes empowering to then cause us to want to do everything that we possibly can do to achieve it. Okay. Let me start back in 1971. This is going to be a narrative of just my journey. And it is being given to stimulate thought in your mind, and we'll ask questions to ourselves at each breakthrough. But it's got to start in 1979. I'm a pastor of a small church in southern Indiana, and I want to teach people stewardship. I want to teach them how to use their time, their talent, their tithe for God. And it's a little church. I'm talking about 35 people, okay, little country church. And so I decided to do a stewardship series. The first preaching series that I ever did was on stewardship. And so I had handouts for them, and I did little painted signs, which were just as hokey as could be. I mean, you can't even believe. I had in this little building. I'm talking about little building. Only seated about 80 people. I had 17 signs up. I mean, you couldn't look anywhere. There was not a space without a sign. And my first message was I literally walked around the building and pointed to every sign and then exhorted, and the next sign, and I would exhort. And Margaret and I painted them in our garage. And I want to tell you something. I would give $10,000 today if I could just have one of those signs. Because I would hold it up to you. And you would see this sign and you would say, God has been very good to him. Very good to him. Because you can't imagine how bad they were. They were my best, but you can't imagine how bad they were. And for that month, I taught stewardship to my congregation, and it really worked. It clicked in from day one. In fact, from that moment on, every year for 25 years of pastoring, I taught stewardship every year for a month to my congregations. And I would look at them and I would say, you're going to grow spiritually more in this month than any other month of the year, and I guarantee it happens in your life and my life, because very simply, when you start to talk about stewardship, you deal with lordship issues. What am I going to do with my time? What am I going to do with my money? What am I going to do with my giftedness? You cannot deal with stewardship without dealing with lordship. And the moment that you deal with lordship, you're going to grow, because that's basically who's going to call the shots in your life. And the stewardship month was so successful. And so there were a group of pastors. I'm talking about a small group in our district. I'm 35, 45 pastors who had found out about the success of it, and they wanted me to teach them how I did it. And to be honest with you, for about a week I didn't want to, because I had this idea, wrong idea in the beginning, that it was kind of me against them, and if I could get my church growing faster, and I was playing that political stupid game that people play. And so for about a week I didn't want to share it with them, and then I thought, well, yeah, I'll do it. And I remember us getting together at a campground, and I probably spent 2 hours teaching them how I taught stewardship. And I saw lights go on all over the room. And I saw pastors say, thank you, I've got this. And they went to their churches and they started teaching people stewardship and started really helping their congregations understand this principle. Now here's the birth of the dream, of my dream to add value to people, started there. For the first time in my life, I saw that I had the ability to say things and do things that could help other people get better. And I could never express the feeling I had at the birth of my dream as I walked away from that little camp experience saying, I was born for this. I was born to do things that work, to turn around and give them to other people that will work for them and teach them how to transfer these principles and concepts and these practices. I was born for this. And so my dream was birthed out of adding value to people. That's where it began. But as I look at my dream journey, not only did I have to ask myself the 10 questions that are in the book, Put Your Dream to the Test, but I had to have some help, because dreams are difficult and you have to have some help. And these are breakthroughs that I had that helped me break through. They literally helped me go to another level that if I wouldn't have had them, I perhaps would not have. And as I give you my breakthroughs, I want you to look at your dream. What's your dream? And I want you to ask yourself, have I had this breakthrough yet? And I'm going to guarantee you some of the breakthroughs I've had, you're going to identify with and say, oh my, I've already been there. Oh yes, ooh, I remember that one. And by the way, you remember all your breakthroughs. So I had a person one time say, well, I'm sure I've had a momentous breakthrough in my life, but I can't remember it. No, if you can't remember it, it wasn't a breakthrough. It might have been a breakup, a breakdown, a breakover. It might have been a lot of breaks, but a breakthrough you never forget. So let me just kind of label these for you and walk you through them quickly. Number one, the first breakthrough that kind of built my dream. So I had a person one time say, well, I'm sure I've had a momentous breakthrough in my life, but I can't remember it. No, if you can't remember it, it wasn't a breakthrough. It might have been a breakup, a breakdown, a breakover. It might have been a lot of breaks, but a breakthrough you never forget. So let me just kind of label these for you and walk you through them quickly. Number one,
Sandra, are you on mute? I can't hear you.
I didn't know. I said we had to stop here before he starts the breakdown of the breakthroughs he had. So we're going to be starting on the breakthrough next week just to do a final capping over of putting your dream to test. So I was speaking about, he said there's a lot of breakup, you have breakup, breakdown, breakthroughs. So but you will never forget the breakthroughs. You'll never forget the breakthroughs. So, and that was mind-blowing for me. But before we call it a day, I just want to quickly to do a final recap that speaks about the dream is what you do, you live every day, not what happens to you. Your dream helps you to propel you and challenge you to keep growing. And it makes no shortcut to success. Dream don't come to us, we go to them. Your dream help you to stretch. Big dreams attract big people, and small dream attracts small people. So I rather have a big dream because I want to attract big people. And so your dream must depend on God. Your dream must be big enough to depend on God and others. Your dream also helps you to focus and to persevere. In the last chapter, which was he was talking about how he came about the book, Putting Your Dream to Test, he said breakthroughs that build your dream. So the more reason to achieve your dream or pursue it, the dream, the more the obstacles, and the more you want to achieve it. The more you want to achieve them. So events that mold us and move us forward are events that challenge us. So he spoke about we are never the same when we have breakthrough inward and outward. He speaks, and dream is an inspiring, he defined what dream was, and he spoke that dream was an inspiring picture of the future that energizes your mind, that is talking about your mind. So energizes your mind, your will, and emotions. This empowers you to do everything you can to achieve it. He spoke about time, money, and giftings. So to do things that can help people better. So we are born to help people succeed. We're not born for ourselves. And he said, my dream was born out of adding value to people. And that was what his dream was. I'm the same with me because I'm a people's person. I like helping people. I like putting smiles on people's face. So you have to get to that level in life where it's not all about you or your family, but about the people you want to help. So dreams are difficult, but you need to move, but you need to have them in order to help others. So have I had my breakthrough? So note that there's going to be a lot of breaks, break up, breakdown, and breakthrough. But you'll never forget the breakthroughs that you have. Thank you so much. It's been a mind-blowing session for me, and I'm sure everyone had a great time. I don't want to keep anyone longer than necessary. Next week, Saturday, will be the final. Probably be spending about 35 minutes, to wrap up this session. So I want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you, Manuel. Thank you, Deborah, and a little more people I might not be able to mention because I want to call it a day. Do have a very good and the restful weekend. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Are you thinking of how to publish your book on Amazon or how to get your published book to become an Amazon bestseller book? Dip Insight Books is the perfect in-between solution in transforming your ideas into a book. We can help you with all the complicated parts of publishing such as process TO transformation. What we do: full manuscript evaluation, receive quality assurance edit, full copy edit and final proofread to remove spelling and grammar mistakes, oversee your cover design, create your interior layout, publish and distribute your book, lock down your marketing strategy. Ghostwriting, where there is no manuscript. Our goal is to help you publish your book promptly. Contact us today at 404-740-9091. Email us at info@dipinsightworld.com. To start the submission process, check us out at www.books.dipinsightworld.com and submit your details. You can visit our Facebook page at Dip Insight World.
If you've made it this far into this video, thank you for watching. And don't forget to subscribe so you can support your girl. Thank you.